Hey everybody, Pass the Summit with Coach Kolyn here today, and we're finally going to be doing another shoe review on this channel. And if the title didn't give it away, it's the Asics Sky Elite FF2. First off, with the traction. The traction on these shoes is flippin' amazing, okay? I don't know which rubber compound that they use to make these outsoles, but on dusty courts, on clean courts, on semi-clean courts, on semi-dusty courts, the traction is amazing. It bites super hard, and you'll never slip out in these shoes. Now you might fall, much like the Metarise, because it is a little too sticky. But all in all, like, having that issue is way better than having the issue of slipping out because there's no traction. These shoes virtually stop on a dime, and I've played on really bad courts, and where I work, it is a really nice, mostly clean court, so I have the luxury of not having to play on dusty courts all too often. But whenever, you know, we go to tournaments and stuff like that, I always test it out. And if you've ever been to a volleyball tournament, you know, sometimes those plastic courts aren't really it, and I've had no issues with them on those courts. So I think any court will be fine with these shoes. The traction is multi-directional. I don't specifically know what each direction means when it comes to shoes. All I know is that it's freaking good. Fit of the shoe is, in my opinion, really nice, whether you're a narrow footer or wide footer. You can basically go to your true length size, and for the most part, you'll be fine, unless you have like super fat feet, which shouldn't be a lot of people, to be honest. But if you do, maybe go up half a size. And if your feet are just that huge, you know, maybe you should just wear bigger shoes. After you've wore the shoe for a while, the shoe is very form-fitting. So like, if you can tell, like all these creases and everything on the shoes, it's basically kind of like not molded to my feet per se, like those up there would be, but they do like match your foot shape and size eventually. And then, in my opinion, that's like a really good for a shoe. I really enjoy the comfort of these shoes, especially with the flight foam, and I think with like their more flagship shoes, they don't use regular flight foam. They use like a flight foam plus type of thing, and honestly, like, the step-in comfort is really nice. I really enjoy it. It's really good court feel, and also really good responsiveness. And honestly, it's really hard to find that in all one package, and I think this shoe really has that package. And I can really attest to the comfort of these shoes, because sometimes when I'm at my job, when I'm coaching, or when I'm working with youth, I am sometimes wearing these shoes for hours and hours on end, and my legs are still good afterwards. They absorb so much like impact that it's really hard to see why nobody else is using this type of foam. I don't know what it's made of, but it's like really good. It reminds me a lot of Boom Foam, but like not as soft as Boom Foam from Li-Ning. And like I said, like, it's not as soft as like Boost or Nike Air or Boom Foam. It's a little more sturdy, but it takes a lot of impact protection. It absorbs a lot of the impact on landings and like from steps and everything. Good news to all you Kobe fans out there. In my personal opinion, the Sky Elites very much feel like a pair of Kobe 6s and Kobe 5s, minus the Air unit, obviously, because Asics doesn't have an air unit in it. But the fit and comfort and the way that they feel on court reminds me a lot of my Grinches. And if you're a Kobe fan, much like I am, that's big plus. That's a big plus. Some of the tech specs on this shoe, really solid heel counter, no heel slippage for me whatsoever. The shoe also, much like the Meta Rise, has a Dynawrap system. Basically, it's just like a fabric that latches the lateral and medial side of the forefoot, and like it tightens it so you don't like, you know, slide out. But like with the huge outrigger, I really don't see this need for it. But you know, if you want that, you know, suffocating feeling on your foot, it's okay. And the shoe has a shank plate that is plastic called the Twist Truss system. Very good for torsional stability, and I think it leads all the way into the forefoot. I don't know if it's just like this half of it, or if it's like cut through the whole thing and this whole section is just plastic. But either way, really good for torsional stability and maybe a little bit of jump height, because when plastic bends, it, you know, releases energy, and so it's really good. And even with all this tech, the shoe is pretty light. I think when I measured it, it was around 12 ounces, which is honestly the average for most like light shoes for sports in terms of volleyball and like basketball, because you know that's generally the shoes you wear for volleyball anyway. And 12 ounces or below is really light. It was like 11.75 or something like that. And that's really good for a pair of volleyball shoes when you're jumping and moving around the court at high speeds at all times. Heel-toe transition on the shoe is crazy, right? It's like a rounded rear foot, and then it curves in the forefoot and just whoop, like a wave. Not as crazy as the Meta Rise here. The Meta Rise is like absolutely insane when it comes to heel-toe transition, but for a more balanced shoe, this is great. All in all, these shoes, pretty good. Pretty good. It's good comfortability, good fit, insane traction, and best of all, you're able to play in these shoes for hours and hours on end and not feel sore afterwards. This shoe, by all means, is a jack of all trades, master of none. It doesn't really exemplify any specific roles on the court, but it's not bad at any of them. So I really recommend this shoe for literally every position on the court. Whether you're an outside hitter, a setter, a libero, a middle blocker, or an opposite hitter, this shoe is for you. Now you may be thinking, what is the rating of this shoe? Do I give it the same rating as the Meta Rise? Do I give it a better rating than the Meta Rise? And to be honest, I'm gonna give it the same rating, a 9 out of 10. Like I said, the shoe is really good in terms of everything. It just isn't a master at anything. So if you really want a shoe that has impact protection insane, you're not going to get that here. If you really want a shoe that gives you the biggest vertical out here, probably not going to get that with this shoe. But a shoe with good court feel, good impact protection, good fit, good feel, good everything, and not bad at anything, this is the shoe for you. A perfect, good shoe. And honestly, like, if you don't really care about the colorways, the pricing isn't really an issue, because on Amazon they're like $90, and on eBay they're $120. On the Asics website, yeah, they're like $150, but you know, that's not really that. I mean, that's pretty expensive, but like, why would you buy it from the real website if you can buy it cheaper somewhere else? You know. All in all, it's in my main rotation, so it has to be good, right?